You wake before the alarm, heart already working too hard, the grey morning pressing against your bedroom window. 3 missed calls glow on your screen. No name, no voicemail, just a number you have never seen before. For a moment, everything looks normal. The coffee mug on the counter, the shoes by the door, the curtains half closed the way you left them. Then you see it. One photo frame on the shelf is lying face down. Across the street, through the thin gap in the blinds, the same black SUV from yesterday sits at the curb, engine off, windows dark. You tell yourself it is paranoia. Then your phone lights up. The sender is your own number. Stop asking about Project Meridian. Your breath catches. You never told anyone you knew that name. From the outside, your life still looks untouched. You go to work, you pay rent, you answer emails, you stand in line for coffee behind strangers who complain about the weather. Your mother texts to ask if you are eating enough. A friend sends a meme, the bills come due, the lights stay on, and every ordinary thing keeps pretending nothing has changed. But then, the small things start happening. An email you know you saved is gone. Not deleted, not archived, just gone. Your search history shows pages you never opened, questions you never typed. At first, you stare at the screen and try to explain it away. Maybe you were tired, maybe you clicked something by accident, maybe your mind, stretched thin by stress, has started folding in on itself. Then a coworker repeats a phrase you only whispered alone in your kitchen. A neighbor asks about something you never posted. A friend uses the exact words you said during a call you took with the windows shut and the door locked. The fear is not loud yet. It does not kick the door in. It seeps through the walls. And before you begin doubting the world around you, you begin doubting yourself. Then come the patterns. At first, they are small enough to hide inside coincidence. The same man standing near the produce section, turning an apple over in his hand, never buying anything. The same woman 2 seats away on the train, eyes lowered to her phone, getting off at your stop 3 mornings in a row. The same silver sedan floating 2 cars behind you through traffic, never close enough to threaten, never far enough to forget. You start taking different routes, leaving earlier, leaving later, crossing streets without warning just to see what happens. Nothing happens. That is what makes it worse. No one follows you into an alley. No one grabs your arm. No one appears in the mirror with a gun. There is only the quiet pressure of being observed by people who understand the exact distance required to remain impossible to accuse. When you tell your friends, they smile with concern, first, then amusement. You've been watching too many documentaries, so you stop telling them. But one night, while cleaning behind the bookshelf, your fingers brush something taped beneath the lower shelf. A black disc, no bigger than a coin, warm, humming faintly, a listening device. Your hands shake as you call the police. By the time they arrive, the tape is still there. The device is gone. Then your life begins locking you out. It starts with your email, password incorrect. You type it again, slower this time, each letter deliberate. Still wrong. Then your cloud storage denies access. Your social media asks for verification codes that never arrive. Your bank freezes a transaction you did not make, then flags another from a city you have not visited in years. By noon, your work login fails. You sit at your desk while the office hums around you, watching the error message pulse on the screen like a quiet accusation. Across the room, people glance over and look away too fast. Then the video appears. It is grainy, time-stamped, convincing. You or someone shaped exactly like you, walking through the lobby of a hotel in a state you have never been to, wearing clothes you do not own, carrying a bag you have never touched. Your boss calls you in before you can finish denying it to yourself. The door closes softly behind you. His voice is calm, careful, almost rehearsed. HR is already there, hands folded, faces neutral, in the way people look when they have been warned not to react. And that is when you understand. They are not trying to catch you. They are building a version of you that no one will believe. Your identity is no longer yours. It is a file someone else can edit. The first people to leave are not strangers. They are the ones who know your voice when you are trying not to panic. The ones who have seen you sick, exhausted, broke, laughing too hard over nothing. The ones who should be able to look at you and see the truth underneath the fear. But even they begin stepping back. Your best friend calls late, speaking in a low voice, like someone is standing nearby. They say 2 federal agents came by their apartment. They asked questions about you, your moods, your habits. Whether you had ever mentioned classified programs, surveillance, conspiracy theories. You try to explain, but the silence on the line changes shape. Then, your sister asks if you are using drugs, not cruelly. That is what breaks you. She asks gently, with tears caught in her throat, as if she has already been told how this ends. Your partner starts placing their phone face up on the table whenever you talk, recording, they admit, for safety, their safety, yours, everyone's. The words are soft, but the damage is not. Every time you defend yourself, you hear how it sounds. Too fast, too desperate, too detailed. You are not just being isolated. You are being turned into a story no one wants to believe. Then someone you trust leaves a note under your door. 4 words in shaky handwriting. They said you would say this. Then the gaps begin. Not missing emails, not strange cars, not people looking at you like they have been warned. Time itself starts breaking apart. You look at the clock one afternoon and realize an hour is gone, not forgotten in the ordinary way, not lost to distraction or exhaustion. Gone cleanly, like someone cut it out with a blade. One moment you were standing at a crosswalk, with rain ticking against your jacket. The next, you were in your apartment, shoes muddy, hands cold, with no memory of unlocking the door. In the bathroom mirror, you find a bruise blooming along your ribs, dark and tender beneath the skin. In your pocket, a motel key. You stare at it until your vision blurs, trying to force your mind backward, but the memories that come do not feel like memories. They arrive in flashes too sharp, too white, too perfect. A hallway with no windows, a government facility behind a chain-link fence, a room that smells like bleach and metal, a voice from behind you saying a name that is not yours. You grip the sink, breathing hard, terrified, not because you remember too little, but because part of you seems to remember too much. And the question changes. Maybe they are not hunting you because of what you discovered. Maybe they are hunting you because of what you used to be. Then your face appears on the news, not in a headline that explains anything, not in a report with evidence, witnesses, or dates. Just a photograph pulled from somewhere you do not remember posting. Cropped too close, your eyes frozen in a moment that now looks guilty because a stranger's voice says your name like it already belongs in a file. Person of interest, the anchor says. The words are careful, legal, empty enough to protect them, heavy enough to ruin you. Behind your picture, graphics move in red and black. Classified breach, national security risk, possible foreign contact. No one says what you stole. No one says who you met. No one says what proof exists, because proof is not the point. Suspicion is. By evening, your phone is full of messages you cannot answer. Some plead, some accuse, some are just screenshots of your own face beneath words that make you sound dangerous. The next morning, a man at the gas station recognizes you and steps away from the pump. A cashier refuses to meet your eyes. A woman pulls her child closer when you pass. You have not been arrested. You have not been charged. But the public version of you has already been convicted. Then your mother calls. For a long time, neither of you speaks, and when she finally does, her voice is a whisper. Tell me you didn't do it. The stranger is already sitting across from you when you return from the restroom. You freeze beside the booth, one hand still damp from the sink, the diner buzzing around you in soft, harmless noise. Forks scrape plates, coffee pours, a waitress laughs too loudly near the counter. But the man in your seat does not look up from the menu. Then he says, your childhood nickname, not your legal name, not the name from the news, the name only your father used before he died. Your stomach turns cold. He folds the menu and sets it aside. I'm not here to arrest you, he says. His voice is calm, almost kind. I'm here because you're starting to remember. You should run. Every nerve in your body screams it, but he speaks like someone holding the missing half of your life. He says you were recruited years ago, quietly, voluntarily. He says your memory was altered to protect the program, and maybe to protect you. Project Meridian, he tells you, was never something you stumbled onto. It was something you helped build. The words hit like a fall from a great height. But his story has holes, dates that do not fit, names he avoids, questions he answers too quickly. He reaches across the table, palm open, offering comfort like a leash. And you realize the most dangerous kind of control is the kind that feels like rescue. You tear the apartment apart after midnight, not carefully, not like someone searching for misplaced keys. You move like an intruder in your own home, ripping books from shelves, pulling drawers from their tracks, cutting open the lining beneath the couch because some instinct tells you to look where no normal person would. And there it is, a hollow space behind the bedroom vent. Inside, you find passports with your face and names you have never used, bundles of cash wrapped in rubber bands, a flash drive, a stack of photographs showing you beside people you do not remember meeting, in rooms you do not recognize, wearing expressions you cannot explain. Then you find the recordings. Your hands shake as the first file plays. Your own voice fills the room, calm, low, emotionless. If you are hearing this, the containment failed. They have started the correction cycle. Do not contact family. Do not go to the police. Do not believe the first version of events they give you. You stop breathing, because it is not just proof that something happened. It is proof that you knew it would. Some other version of you stood in this apartment and prepared for the collapse of your life with the precision of someone planning a crime. And the worst question is not what they did to you. It is what you did before they erased it. The recording crackles once, then ends with your voice turning colder. Do not trust the person you become after midnight. The final clue takes you 40 miles outside the city, past shuttered gas stations and rain-black fields, to a building that should not exist on any map, an abandoned federal safe house. The gate is unlocked, the front door is already open. Inside, the air smells of dust, mold, and old electricity. Your flashlight cuts across the walls, and your blood turns cold. Every inch is covered with you. Photos from your childhood. Apartment floor plans, work schedules, medical records, timelines written in red marker, psychological profiles with words like stress response, memory fracture, compliance threshold. There are transcripts of conversations you had in locked rooms, whispers from your kitchen, arguments with people who swore they loved you. You step deeper, barely breathing, until you reach the center of the room. One file waits on a metal table. Your hands tremble as you open it. At the top of the page, one sentence has been underlined twice. Subject is not fleeing. Subject is returning. The room seems to tilt. All at once, the chase rearranges itself in your mind. The fear was not a side effect. It was the trigger. The isolation was not cruelty. It was the method. Every loss, every accusation, every moment you thought you were breaking apart had been engineered with surgical patience. Your breakdown was the key. The CIA was not hunting you to stop you. They were hunting you to wake you up. You hear them before you see them. Footsteps, measured, unhurried. Agents enter the room in silence, spreading out with practiced precision, but no one reaches for a weapon. No one shouts. No one treats you like a fugitive anymore. The handler steps forward, watching you with the calm of someone who has been waiting for this exact moment. Welcome back. And then it hits. Not in fragments this time, not in flashes. Everything. The operation, the betrayal, the panic, the person you buried inside yourself so you could survive what came next. But one memory rises above the rest, and it is the one that truly breaks you. You ordered this. The surveillance, the isolation, the destruction of your name. You designed the hunt to erase your old self, to bury the truth so deeply that even you could not reach it. Because the real enemy was never just the CIA. It was the version of you who knew exactly what you were capable of. You lift your eyes to the surveillance camera in the corner and smile. Not because you escaped, because now you finally understand why everyone was afraid.